All right, Mission 1 Pro. Today's mission, see how you look and sound next to Action 6. So, without any further ado, let's start the mission and bring in Mr. Action 6. Here we are. Okay, so I want to get over that side of the road, like, so I want to walk along that side of the bridge, because you wait till you see the views when we're on that side of the bridge. In fact, the views are pretty good on this side of the bridge as well, but yeah, I want to go on that side of the bridge. But instead of crossing over here, because as you can see, it's a little bit hectic. You got buses, you got taxis, you got bikes, and actually a minute ago there was actual horses, like there was people riding on the horses. I missed it, I literally missed it. So yeah, instead of crossing over there, let's start the test by going somewhere a little bit more out of the sunshine down here. So you know that big round thing, like that you saw up the top where we just was? That is a cinema. I've showed it in another video, so I won't go on about it now. It's like the UK's biggest cinema. There's literally just one screen. It's like massive. But this is the entrance. It's such a weird setup. You've got to come down here where we are now to enter. But as you can imagine, like right now it's like sunny, right? But like in the wintertime when it gets dark at like 3 PM, coming down here to go in the cinema. I remember when I came to see Wicked. Mate, the sights and all the smells and shit that you see down here, yeah, like, it's almost like one of the places that, don't come down here alone. Look, it's so like, I don't know, like now it looks different because it's sunny, but yeah, like down here, yeah, there's a lot going on. Anyway, enough of that. That's the entrance if you're wondering where the cinema is, because you know what, I'm gonna say it's not the bestly signposted, because when I first came to this cinema, I was like, yo, where's the entrance? Anyway, when we come back up here, we get to the other side of the road where we was just a minute ago, over there. So this is the cinema that I was talking about, look. Wave to the people. Let's wave to the people, see who waves back. Yay, we got one! Yay, we got one! Yay, we got that! Yes, come on. That's what we want, audience participation. Thank you. If you're from London, or maybe even if you're not from London, you might recognize this tunnel right here. The reason why I'm showing you this tunnel right here is because this tunnel made it to the news the other day, because as you can see, right, the flow of traffic going into the tunnel, the entrance to the tunnel there, is like going in this direction. But there was a Waymo car driving out of the tunnel in the opposite direction. If you don't know about the Waymo cars, they're like the driverless taxis. It was driving out the tunnel in the opposite direction. I just can't get my head around how it got in the tunnel, because the entrance to the tunnel that's over there is obviously like on the other side, like on this side of the road, but it's separated by these railings. So I still don't understand how on earth it got in there in the first place. But the mad thing is there was a driver in the driving seat, like, because they're still not fully driverless, because they're doing the testing, right? So they're doing all the safety stuff before they prepare for launch in September. You know what, I'm gonna put a picture in. I'm gonna put a picture in from it was on the news the other day. So yeah, there's the driver in the driving seat, just looking like yeah, whatever. Because a few weeks before that, there was a police cordoned off crime scene area and the Waymo drove straight into that as well. Mate, if they carry on doing all this shit, they are not launching anytime here in September because they ain't passing no safety stuff. So both these cameras have a 2x zoom. The GoPro actually has a 4x zoom. The annoying thing with both of these cameras though and their zooms is you cannot activate them whilst you're recording and then you can't deactivate them whilst you're recording. So yeah, slightly annoying. So let's test both zooms out now. But to do that, we have to stop recording. Right, so this is us standing here. I felt like this was a good place to capture these words on the floor, see how they look, right? So this is just normal, right? So no zoom is activated, so just 1x, right? Now let me activate the 2x zoom on them both. Right, here we are, 2x zoom activated on both cameras. So how is those letters looking? I'll be honest with you, on my screen here, the Action 6 looks clearer. But then I don't know whether it's because when you're recording on the GoPro, obviously it's like lower quality and all of that. But when you actually watch it back, it's not. But yeah, anyway, this is what the 2x zoom looks like on both of the cameras. You know what, let's go up to the, can you see those words? Like, again, I can't actually see the words on the GoPro screen, like it's all blurry. But on the Action 6, I can't read the words, but I can see like the words. Like, does that make sense? Hold on, let me get, oh shit, let me get a bit closer. Right, I can now read the words on, again, on the Action 6, it is like crystal clear. On the GoPro, I can read the words, but it's blurry. You know what, let me watch the GoPro's footage back because I'm sure it's to do with just when you're recording. There you go, there's 2x zoom on the face. One thing that is slightly annoying on the GoPro when it comes to the zoom in is there's no indication when the zoom is active on the screen. On the Action 6, in the corner it says 2x when the 2x zoom is activated. On the GoPro, there's no like icon whatsoever. So like the other day, for example, when I was testing things out with the zoom, because it's a slider, I accidentally I didn't bring it down to 1x. It was left on like 1.4x. But I didn't realize until like ages later when I went back into the zoom and I was like, oh shit, all this time I've been shooting in 1.4x or whatever it was, 1.3x. Whereas if there was an icon on the screen in the corner like there is on the Action 6, I would have obviously seen that straight away and pulled it back down to 1x. So yeah, slightly annoying when you're using the zoom on the GoPro because you've got to be a lot more careful that you actually, bring it back down to exactly 1x. But yeah, this is how the face is looking in 2x zoom. All right, we're back in 1x now, and I can assure you we are in 1x on the GoPro because I've quadruple checked that we are. But one thing we are now not in, and we are now in, is 8K. So far throughout this whole video, we've been shooting in 4K. We're now in 8K, and when you're in 8K on the Action 6, you can shoot up to 30 frames per second in 16:9. On the GoPro, you can shoot up to 60 frames per second in 16:9. So we tested out the zooms, so I've whacked it in 8K now, so we can essentially, crop in and check out how things are looking a little bit more close up when we crop in. I feel like words are always a good way to judge this. So this sign right here, let's kind of zoom into this sign and see how the words look as we get closer and closer. Obviously I can't see any of this right now, so I'll just kind of stand here and point. I think that's my job right now, stand and point and do everything later. Let's just hope no one walks in front of it. How long should I wait here for? Oh, there's people coming, there's people coming, there's people coming. It's fine, no, yeah, you can walk. Yep. I mean, right, let's do the same thing again. I'll just stand here, point, and like, just point. Just like, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just standing here pointing. And yeah, how is this looking when we crop in post? And last one, we might as well get one last shot of Byron burgers before they completely move on. Byron? Is it Byron or Byron? Byron. Nah, it's Byron. Have I ever been to Byron Burgers? I don't think I've ever been to Byron Burgers. Byron Burgers. Alright, I've switched things back into 4K now because I don't see any need or reason for us to stay in 8K unless we're doing any like cropping and stuff, which we've done because it just uses a lot more juice and a lot more memory. Anyway, before I forget, one thing I forgot to say earlier regarding the 8K is on the Mission 1 Pro, you can shoot 8K open gate up to 30 frames per second. On the Action 6, you can't shoot 8K open gate, you can only shoot 4K open gate up to 60 frames per second. The Action 6 can shoot 38 megapixel photos, but Mission 1 Pro can shoot 50 megapixel photos. So, you know what? Let's take some photos to see how the photos look side by side. Action 6, there's on the Action 6, there's 4 field of views to choose from. Standard D-warp, natural wide, wide, and ultra wide. On Mission 1 Pro, there's 3 field of views to choose from. Linear, wide, and super view. So far throughout this whole video, both cameras have been in their kind of standard, like most intimate field of view, right? So linear on the GoPro, and standard D-warp on the Action 6. Let's open up those field of views now so you can see how wide both of them go. So obviously we have a slight numbers issue because the Action 6 has 4 field of views to choose from, the GoPro only has 3. So what I've done is I've put Action 6 now in natural wide, which is basically similar to the standard D-warp, just slightly wider without the distortion. And I've left GoPro in linear. And now what we'll do is we'll go up the ranks? Go up the ranks. That's not the right word, is it? Go up, like we'll go wider. We'll go wider together on both. This is wide on both cameras. So yeah, pretty much the same on the screen in front of me. Like I can't touch the top of the screen on both. Can I? I could just about touch the top of the screen if I try. In terms of what I can see, I think I can see pretty much the same in terms of top and bottom. But yeah, this is what we're looking like in wide on both. And this is what we're looking like in ultra wide on Action 6 and super view on GoPro. Look, I can definitely not touch. Oh, I can. See, I can. If you want to do anything that you can, you can do anything that you put your mind to. Look, I can touch the top of the screen. I could. Oh, okay. The lady thinks I'm waving. I'm not waving. Oh, okay. I'll wave. Look. Right. Anyway, yeah. I forgot what we were doing. So yeah, I better keep my arm down. This is the widest you could go on both cameras, ultra wide and super view. All right, so what do I think? Well, first of all, let's keep in mind I've had the GoPro a much shorter time than the Action 6, right? So obviously things sometimes change over time. So let's class this as like initial first thoughts, first feelings, first reviews, right? Both of these cameras are great cameras. Each of them can do certain things the other can't. Each of them have annoying things that the other doesn't have an annoying thing, like vice versa. For example, the Action 6 has internal storage. Mission 1 Pro doesn't have internal storage. I don't know why GoPro went so hard with this camera and they forgot what I would class as like a basic thing as internal storage. Maybe they didn't forget it. I'm sure there's a reason why it's not in it, but I think because I'm so used to it on the other cameras, it's like, oh mate, where's the bloody SD card? But yeah, that's annoying. But then the Action 6 is annoying because you need to have an adapter to attach the 1/4" screw hole. With Mission 1 Pro, you don't need an adapter because the hole is already there. But then the GoPro is slightly annoying in the way that the whole big flap that covers the battery is the same flap that covers the USB-C slot. So like if I was walking around right now and I needed to charge Mission 1 Pro up, I would have to have this whole big flap open whilst I'm charging it, whereas on the Action 6 there's a dedicated flap for the USB-C slot, which is just small, and yeah, you just plug it in. Like, it's just those small things, do you know what I mean? Also on the GoPro, when you've plugged it in and it's turned off, you cannot see the percentage of the battery as it's charging. On Action 6 you can, like you can see it. It sounds small, but these are the things that I picked up. Like, these are the things in my head that make a difference. I plugged it, I'm like, okay, so what percentage are you on? You have to like keep turning it on, check the percentage. It's like, just show us the percentage on the screen. In terms of how they both look and sound and just generally feel to hold and work with in the hand, I've got to give the point to the Action 6 for the way it feels. It's a lot lighter, a lot smaller, and yeah, it makes a massive difference. The GoPro is heavier, the lens is a lot more bulgier, and you can definitely feel it when you put it in your pocket. So yeah, the Action 6 just feels a lot nicer to hold and work with in your hand. Plus, I just love DJI's menu system. I don't know whether this is like an iPhone versus Samsung thing, when you try to switch from an iPhone to a Samsung and you can't because you just love the user interface on an iPhone. Yeah, I love DJI's menu system set up on the screen, so it would take a lot for me to say, you know what, I actually prefer another cameras. In terms of visuals and audio, I've got to give the audio point to the Action 6. I love the way the audio sounds coming out of the Action 6, even when you're speaking behind the camera, which was an issue on the Action 5 Pro, which they fixed on the Action 6. On the GoPro, the audio is not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. Again, the issue is mainly when you're speaking behind the camera, things sound a lot more muffled. And yeah, I don't know, at this moment in time, I'm not a massive fan of the audio coming directly out of Mission 1 Pro. In terms of the visuals, I've got to give the point to Mission 1 Pro. I really love the way things look straight out of camera on Mission 1, from Mission 1 Pro. Things look a lot more natural than they do coming out of Action 6. The Action 6 just looks like the colours look oversaturated. It's almost like HDR-y. Faces do not look true to life. One of the first things I was excited to test on Mission 1 Pro was how skin tones look, and if you've seen that video, you'll know why I was so excited when I saw my face for the first time, because I was like, yes, that is how my face looks. Whereas on the Action 6, I can even see it on the screen, like that is not the colour of my face. So what would be good is if they have got a HDR mode on, if they have got a face priority thing on, cool, but give us the option to turn it off on the Action 6. You don't have any options in the menus. On the GoPro, you do have both of those options. There's a face priority thing option and there's a HDR option, so you have the option to turn it on or off. So on the Action 6, like I said, it would be good if they do have. And actually, even on the Insta360 cameras, I think you have the option to turn like the face priority thing and HDR on or off. So yeah, that's what we need on, yeah, the DJI cameras. We do have an issue with the minimum focus distance, a slight issue, minimum focus distance on the GoPro. It's nearly double what it is on the Action 6. So something to keep in mind, especially when you're vlogging or you're kind of showing things that are like, I don't know, close in your hand or whatever. Yeah, things can't get as close as they can on the Action 6. Yeah, with the GoPro. So let me know what you think down below. For now, I'm gonna leave you with this. If you don't like mice and you don't like rats, look away now. 3, 2, 1. Hello. Goodbye.